Oh, this is brutal.
Hi everyone. This year I decided last minute that I would like to participate in races. I clearly did not plan this well as I'm definitely out of shape and suffered through this race. This is my first race ever and I struggled to finish, but I did and I'm proud of it. In this video I will share footage of the first lap of the race and I will walk through some of the mistakes I made this day. It was very fun to experience the rush of energy at the start with the entire group, but as you can see, I started to fall behind pretty much immediately.
Again, a reminder, we will do our 8:30 podium in a few minutes, so stay tuned for that.
This was the first race of the 2022 Ontario Cup. There are currently a total of 7 O-Cup races scheduled. I will try to participate in as many as I can. This is also the first time I overlaid the Garmin stats on a video, and because I had the computer with the Autopause feature enabled, it might be a little out of sync in parts, but I try my best to synchronize it. I know this is a much longer video than I usually upload. I just thought it might be helpful to show the full lap in case anyone wants to see what the course looks like. This track had 7.2 kilometers per lap, and in my category, I had to do 2 laps. I would say overall the course was super fun and flowy, but it had a lot of climbing. It had a big climb at the beginning and a very steep climb halfway through, and then many other smaller climbs spread around. Overall, I would say this course has low technical difficulty. It was all about fitness level for the climbs.
Good job.
As I mentioned at the beginning, I made several mistakes on race day. The biggest one was definitely not allowing enough time for a proper warm-up. I underestimated how much time it would take to get to the location and get settled, so I only had around 10 minutes before I had to get in the start zone. It basically took me the first 20 minutes to warm up, but I had already gotten off my bike for the first climb, which put me really behind, and I still had the big climb ahead. It was very cool to have people cheer you on, but it was funny because by the time I came around for the second lap, there was no one left, another telling sign of how slow I was. So another mistake I made was not bringing enough snacks to refuel during the ride. And even worse, I did not fuel properly prior to the race. I went into this race thinking to myself that I would just enjoy the ride and not worry about results, which I did. But my mistake was that I seriously underestimated just how out of shape I was. I had been training indoors for a few months at the start of the year, but I recently moved and had to put the trainer away temporarily. So I only had a couple of rides outdoors prior to this race. I should have started preparing earlier. Another annoying thing during the race was that, as you can see, my computer got loose and started moving, so I had to constantly put it back in place. Make sure you check all your accessories before any ride, but particularly before a race.
Thanks. Oh.
Hurry up, there's a down!
Oh my god.
Keep smiling, we're back on our bikes, yay!
Yes.
I think my favorite part of the experience was seeing all these other women racing and encouraging each other along. Every person I encountered was so nice and friendly. As you can see, this course had many short, punchy climbs that were just enough to drain me of the little recovery I got during the downhill sections. My heart rate was high for most of the race, but I was able to perform a little bit better on the second lap. When I was deciding whether to register or not for the race, I tried looking online but couldn't find a lot of info or videos on this course. I know the course can change every year, but at least you can get somewhat familiar with what's in the area with this video. As I think back to the type of riding I usually do in the Don Valley, it is mostly technical with some ups and downs and breaks in between. I'm thinking that to prepare for this type of racing, it is better to do either longer continuous rides or uphill interval trainings. If you participate in races, let me know how you prepare. It was very cool to see how a cross-country race works and how many clubs are out there that train kids and teenagers and support them on these events. This is almost halfway through the lap where the course made its way back to the start area. After this section comes a long section on the side road before it gets to the big climb. speeding this section up as it is a long side road. As you can hear, it was windy in this open part. The weather was great the day of the pre-ride, but on race day it got slightly chillier, and even though I wore the right gear, it was hard to breathe the cold air with the effort I was putting in. And after the race, I spent a day with raspy voice and congested chest.
You okay? Hanging in there? Yeah. Awesome. Just out of shape.
What's that?
Just out of shape.
Oh, me too.
Whew.
A long winter.
This is where the big climb begins. It starts with a relatively normal section and then it gets very steep at the end.
Holy cow.
Hey, you're doing a great job.
Whew.
Stick with it,
Yeah.
and soon you will be a national champion. Okay? Just stick with it.
Oh, this is brutal. Oh, I have no legs. Okay.
As I'm editing this video, I just think back to the Cross-Country World Cup that took place last week and how the racers made it look so easy. Those climbs they have in the course are very hard and they just make it look like a small hill. This is the last big climb of the course. It is not as steep as the one before, but it is long, so it is more of a slow and steady climb for me.
Whew. Oh, this is wrong. My heart rate is at 190. Whew. I think I'm officially the last one of my category. That's fine.
I would say this is the only section of the course that is relatively technical with some tight turns, rooty sections, and punchy climbs.
Oh.
This is where I would say the last part of the course begins, and in my opinion, it's the best part.
It's a fun section here. Okay, almost done with lap 1. Now I get to do it all over again. Continue to huff and puff.
This last part of the course ends with a small rock garden and a fun jump section. You're probably thinking this is only lap 1, and yes, I know probably most people did great, but this just goes to show how unprepared I was for this event. Despite all this, I do not regret racing. I think it was a great first experience, and I'm looking forward to my next race, and I hope I get there in better shape.
Finish area for lap 2.
And just to redeem myself a little, I did make the first climb on lap 2, but I still had to hike my bike up the big steep climb halfway through the lap.
Okay. Whew.
And that's it. Thanks for watching.